Hello, everybody. Sorry about the false start. We were, I copied and pasted the title into the stream, and then I started it, and then realized that it didn't paste everything that it was supposed to, apparently. So I apologize about the restart on the stream, but I wanted to make sure the title was right. That way, if you ever go back and look for the title, specifically for this video in the future later, you could find it. So let me grab some gloves real quick. But is my mic even working? Yes, it is. I just didn't have it scrolled to where I could see the microphone in action. I like to see it. I've had actually quite a bit of trouble with my stream setup lately. One, yesterday, the webcam. Today, copy and paste. And previously, I've had sound issues, which let me know if the music's too loud and my voice isn't loud enough. But today, we are doing a very special build for and if you couldn't guess, it's a pink build, just based off of the pink that we have going, or the color scheme. But it's for Brianna. So Brianna, this build is for you, and I'm very excited to actually build it because I haven't done a pink build in quite some time. The last one I did was probably about a year ago, and they're actually pretty rare. So I'm pretty excited to do it. And thank you, Steve, for giving me the opportunity to build this one for you. But we're going to run through the parts here real quick, and then we'll get started on the actual build. So we're starting off with the processor. We're going with an 11th generation Intel i9. This is the 11900KF, which has pretty much all the horsepower you're ever going to need for gaming, period, for quite some time. And then the RAM we're going with is the T-Force Delta RGB. This is by a Team Group, and specifically this is their Delta white with addressable RGB on the top, so it's going to have the fancy addressable RGB lighting on it, which is great. But there's a total of 32 gigabytes here of DDR4 3600, and that is CL18. So each stick is 8 gigabytes, so 16 gig sets. There's 32 total. The solid state drive we're going with is a Western Digital Black, which is the SN770, and this is a NVMe Gen 4. It's got some really good read-write speeds, and it's a 1 terabyte. So we're taking advantage of the Gen 4 off the 11th generation CPU. So great processor, great RAM, fast SSD. So there should be basically no waiting when you go to load up your game. It's just going to load right in. It's going to be quick. Same with downloading and installing the game. This motherboard is by ASRock. Some people call it ASRock. Some people call it ASRock. But ASRock is the brand name. This is a Z590 Steel Legend. This has Wi-Fi 6 integrated into the board as well. The Steel Legend series is probably one of their higher end. I think the only other one higher on their series by ASRock is the Extreme, and then I think they have a water-cooled version as well. But this is a pretty high-end board. It's got all the features you're ever going to need in this build, which will also make upgrades in the future easy. We're going to be powering the graphics in this build with a GeForce RTX 3060. So we have the ray tracing capability. We got 12 gigs of video RAM, VRAM, and we also went with a white card specifically for the build to kind of match the pink and white theme that we're going with here. If you haven't noticed or gathered. I pulled one of the fans out of the box because I couldn't help myself. I had to look. But they're pretty neat looking. Got the pink fins with an addressable RGB ring around them. So it's gonna look pretty cool. So white card, the RTX 3060. And we are going to be cooling the CPU with a white and pink AIO by ID Cooling. This is the PinkFlow 240, so it's a 240 millimeter AIO. Got two 120 millimeter fans on it, and we've got a pink addressable RGB pump that'll be on top of the CPU with copper underneath. So it'll keep it nice and cool. Now, for the case fans, the case actually does include fans, but they are not really desired. They don't do a really good job. They're not addressable RGB, number one, so it wouldn't flow with the build. Specifically, we wanted a Pivia Predator case, which is actually a pretty good case, minus the fans. So we're going to pull the fans that came with the case, and we are putting all of these matching 120 millimeter pink with addressable RGB rings so that the entire build is matching. And also, these are PWM fans, which means we can control the speed of the fans based on the temperature of the system. So if the system gets hotter, we can run the fans harder, moving more air into the system or move more air out of the system. Either way, regardless, these are much higher quality fans than what comes with the case. We have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fans total. And I am probably going to mount the AIO in the front, just because of the case restrictions. And I will be doing 2 fans on the front, the 2 fans that came with the cooler, so it's going to be a push-pull on the radiator. And then we're going to do 2 or 3, if we could fit 3 fans on the top, and also 1 on the very bottom of the front, so it looks like it has all 3 fans. So 2 fans on the top, 1 in the rear, 3 on the front, 2 on the back of the radiator. That's our fan configuration, and it's going to really move the air. So I'm very excited. Let's go ahead and clear these out of the way. On that poor build behind. That's been sitting for a minute. We do have also some cable extensions here that have the white, black, and pink mixed here. The reason why I went with white, black, and pink is because of the inside of the case is going to actually look a little black. It's got a little bit black in it, so it's going to give it a good accent for the entire build. There's also a little bit of black on the motherboard itself and some other areas of the build as well, so it's going to have a good accent to it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. How's everybody's night? How's everybody doing? Anybody have any questions on the parts in the build, or any comments on the parts that we selected for this build? Steve? Going to be nicer than the one you built me. Unfortunately, I was thinking the same thing when I was quoting it. I was like, ah, crap. I didn't mean to do you wrong like that. It's just, this is actually, honestly, this is a really good time to buy and build a gaming PC, because everything is a buyer's market right now. It is not a seller's market. So that means we can get really good deals on the parts. For example, the graphics card. That graphics card was probably $700-800 easily, like 2 months ago or a month ago even. Now you can get it way less, and it's just because of the market. People stop buying stuff, and then all of a sudden there's an influx of parts, and now everything's gone down in price, and there's actually things available, which is amazing. So I'm just grabbing the contents of this box and putting it on the top here for easy access when we need to go grab it. There's also M.2 screws. I believe we're going to need one of these for the SSD. And we also might need a stud. I don't know if I'm showing it right or not. Is it focused or not focused? I don't know. If that's not enough light, I can actually maybe get it brighter. There we go. A little brighter. There we go. A little better. Okay. Throw that behind me, and this is the, again, the ASRock, or ASRock, whichever you want to call it. Somebody knows the correct term there, please feel free to share it. The ASRock Steel Legend D590 comes zip tied into its own foam frame, which is nice. So I'm just going to cut these zip ties out. I really don't see very many motherboard manufacturers do this anymore. They're about the only one that does it. Except for some of their lower tier motherboards, they don't put the foam around it. This is our Steel Legend D590. So as you can see, I tried to get as much white into this build as possible with the budget allowed. This board was just an immediate pick, especially for the budget we're aiming for, and the i9 that we wanted to put in here. So this was just an automatic pick, this board, for the color scheme too. Go ahead and get the CPU, which is our Core i9. Shipping kind of damaged the edges here, but it's okay, it survived. So is Brianna excited for this build? You coming from another build, Steve? Another computer? Maybe a hand-me-down? Also, is this for like a special occasion, like a birthday, or? Going to be a surprise for a wedding present. Oh, that's awesome. Well, if it's a surprise, oh, I guess that's a good thing that I restarted the video then, because you should show her later if it's going to be a surprise. Hopefully she doesn't catch you watching this video. So here we go. We got processor we're just going to drop in. Always be careful, obviously, because you have the pins on the board, so you don't want to damage the pins. The Intel processors are notched, so you can see a little notch here on each side, and so you really can't put them in the wrong way. They're pretty hard to mess up unless you drop it, socket, and bend a pin. So don't do that. It's a very pricey experience if you do that, because most manufacturers will not cover that damage. There we go, we got our CPU mounted. Now we're going to move on to our Western Digital Black SM770 NVMe SSD, 1TB, Gen 4. I gotta say, if somebody gave me a gaming PC that was like customized like this for my wedding gift, I think I'd love them forever. My wife didn't hear me. Hopefully she doesn't hear me. So I have my LaserJet printer over here in the corner, actually pretty close to the microphone. So if you start hearing a printer go off, I apologize. Weird logistics right now over here. Great. So we're just gonna slide that into the slot on an angle here, and the heatsink that we picked up, pulled off here, is going to actually secure it into position with the screws that came off this heatsink. We are going to peel our thermal pad cover off. That way we can install this. Line it up properly. Yep. And then we're going to grab our screwdriver, drive these screws in. So this is a wedding gift. Yeah. My wife has been curious about the pink belt too. Huh? She says she wants one. But I mean, I didn't get a wedding gift for me, from you. Not a gaming computer. All right. Oh, yeah, she said she has to put up with all my crap. So. All right, so here we go. We got our RAM that we're going to do next. We're going to fill all 4 slots, 8 gigs per slot, 32 gigs total. Again, this is T-Force Delta. We went with the white. It's 3600 megahertz, which we're going to set the XMP once we up and going in the BIOS update and all that. So that'll all be set for you, Steve. Literally going to be turnkey out of the box. I think she will be very happy with this, yes. I don't know how you couldn't be. Pretty awesome gift though, I think. Especially if she's into PC gaming or gaming in general. All right, we got the SSD installed, we got the CPU installed, and we have all 4 sticks of RAM installed, all 32 gigs. We're going to peel these peels off the motherboard here, which is always a challenge. I don't know why, but I struggle with them. I'm being open and honest with everybody here. It's a very, but bear with me, you know. Number one, I can never find the lead on these things. And I struggle, even though it's such a simple thing. It doesn't help that I have gloves on, but I'll start with the one that I see. I'll start with the easier one. That I'm gonna have to pick this up. I can't. I just can't see it. I'm still I knew my eyes were getting bad, but this is getting bad. Alright, so I finally got it started. So that we could peel that off. There we go. Nice and pretty. So, now we're going to pull the case out, and we're just going to remove all of those fans that I mentioned earlier. We don't want them. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, we're powering this with an 850 watt gold power supply by EVGA. This is a Supernova. This is the 850GA. I believe it's GA or GRGA. But fully modular, gold. It's definitely probably overkill for this build specifically. Like, you could probably do 600 watt power supply for this entire build, but we went with 850. So if you ever wanted to upgrade the power supply in the future, number one, this has like, I think a 8 or 10 year warranty on it, so that's kind of its life expectancy from EVGA. So number one, if you ever wanted to upgrade, you could just pull the card out, upgrade, and go all the way up to like probably a 3080 and be okay. So very easy for upgrades in the future. Makes things simple. High quality on the power supply, never skimp out on that. And if you go bigger with the power supply in the beginning, first 2 year build, you don't have to go through the trouble of replacing the power supply in the future, which makes upgrades so much easier. And honestly, that's pretty much the entire point of gaming people. Ability to upgrade. So I know the light is probably not doing it justice, but it's pink. So we have a pink Predator case here with a front mesh glass side panel, and we're just gonna start by taking the glass off, take the back panel off and front panel off, and then start ripping these fans out. Somehow already ripped my glove. Not sure why, but these gloves seem to tear a lot more. A lot easier. So how's that build treating you right now, Steve? Is it doing good? Still holding its own? You ready for some upgrades yet? At 2060? Like I said, right now is probably a really good time. Thinking of it. If you wait maybe a little bit longer and just watch the market, might even get a cheaper. God. Trying to pop this off. Forgot the front actually is a dust panel. guess I don't necessarily need to take the whole front off. Pop that up. Mine is doing well. Maybe time for a tune-up. Yeah. If you're, when you come pick this one up, if you want to bring yours over here, it needs a cleaning, we could clean it here. Give it a good clean. I mean, really, the core of your build is really nice. It means you don't really need anything super crazy for upgrades other than really the graphics card. That's probably the only thing that's holding some of your frames back now at this point. But if you got a little bit of an upgrade on that graphics card, it would be balling. Still. 2060s are actually starting to show their age, especially with the 30 series out. Benchmarked against. But I mean, it's still holding its own. Still a great card. Yes, I would agree. Yep. I don't know if you saw the stream from last night, but I had this really big white build that I'm working on right now. Almost done. I mean, it turned out really nice. I was impressed. Got a little bit of a red accent to it with some gray. I think I nailed it perfectly. I haven't sent him pictures of the final yet because we didn't have the graphics plate yesterday when we did the live stream, and we didn't have I didn't put the back fan in. But I got all that taken care of and finished, got windows on it and all that, and she is flying. That one had a 3090 Ti, which, you know, is not a cheap card. Cheap right now, all things considered. But compared, one of the top cards. It is the top card out there. We're gonna fight it. You know, this screwdriver really isn't working out for me. The switch. I tried to get some of this work done before the stream, but I'm sorry, I had a whole bunch of stuff piled up. More stuff kept piling up. Why we kind of started a few late. 2 more minutes. Holy smokes. Okay, everybody come through here one at a time. Okay. Molex connections on anything related should be equal now. But somehow they still exist. I'd like to see if we can actually mount this AIO on the top of the case. The thing that I was worried about was the clearance for the RAM in this case, because I know it's tight. We're gonna try and see what it's gonna do. If we can do that, then we might. Wouldn't be able to do push-pull, and actually I would prefer to do push-pull because it's an i9, and I'd rather have the extra horsepower on the fans on the radiator if it's needed, which it couldn't be with the cooler, but 4 fans is actually less work than 2 fans, technically quite. Go. Got her stripped down, which is what we needed. And I'm actually going to mount this motherboard right now, just so we can play with the AIO positioning with the motherboard mounted. Looks like we're going to have some studs that we're going to have to get in there that are not 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 studs. And the back plate is already mounted to the back of the motherboard, so we don't have to worry about the back plate. We just got to get this fit here. If we do end up putting the AIO on the top, we are going to route our CPU wires first, cables, because it'll be kind of tucked underneath in the back, and then it's going to be nearly impossible to get anything on the top of the board plugged in. So we're going to do that if we do end up mounting it here, which I can tell you right now. I'll show you once I get this board mounted here, but I can already see it's more than likely not going to be enough clearance, so we're going to probably go front. I'd prefer it front anyway, as long as we keep it higher than the pump, simply because it's going to be drawing fresh air in, and there's enough fans in the build itself that's going to push the hot air out. But I'd rather draw fresh air through the radiator if I can. Why are we struggling with this one? Big sweet, different one. Double checked one thing. Okay. Just wanted to make sure also that I can get to the back plate still, which I can. If not, then we'd have to pull the board out and then have to put the back plate on, and that seems to be a common thing that I always forget. And screws. Ten screws to hold this bad boy. there we go. Got the motherboard in the case. So, I don't know if you can maybe see it through here. Maybe. Possibly. But we need to mount it to these holes here. These strips. And basically, there isn't enough clearance. It is gonna be tight, very tight. So I don't think there's enough. There'd be enough here, barely. But the RAM sticks up too high, and there really isn't very many low-profile options with RGB on them. So we're gonna go front. Call it a day. In that case, I'm gonna set this aside. Maybe like that. And we're gonna get this out. AIO. Again, the same fans. Nice back plate here that we're going to be using. And our actual radiator. Start pumping everything on here. So, what I will try to do like okay. Probably gonna go with this direction. Try to plan where it's gonna go and which way it's gonna go. That way I know which direction the wires are going to go. We'll have to hide the RGB on the inside fans because those are going to be facing the opposite direction, specifically so we can pull air through and not push fan air to air. It's going to be weird. Whew. Adam Dennis, thank you for the like. I appreciate you from about 11 minutes ago. We're working on a beautiful pink build. Kind of a tight design. We'll make it all fit. Go. Now, to get this mounted, it's going to be a little tricky because we're going to mount AIO in such a way that we're going to have to require the fans up front through the actual or secure the radiator case. How we're going to people. Ultimately, I'd like to get third fan in here. Don't think it's gonna fit. Way down there. So, I'm gonna go with the 2 for now and see what I can do. I've had to do this before in this case. I can't remember what I ended up doing, so I'll have to go back and reference some photos. But I know I've done this before. Not my first time. Struggling with getting it started. See if we can. Tight. Tight. I could do turn some of the front off. That design on PBS, honestly, not allow that. Bothers me a little bit, but that's okay. We'll take it. I'm gonna do pop this front off. May just grind a little bit off. My grinder, or belt sander. I'd like 3 fans on it. Bottom one may not do much here. So that's we need is height. Literally almost it. The only other option I can do is flip the radiator pumps on the bottom. The downside to that is, well, you have to flip the fan at this point. You just have to play with it a little bit, you know, and get it right. This pushing up against wires on the top here is so if a PVA would have put this on the back on the side, that would have solved this problem immediately. That is where we're running into a problem. Let's flip it. Don't really have a choice right now because I want that third fan on there. going to make the front look so much better. It's never easy. This case is not a bad case. It's just a weird design on the top where they put the top AI or the like the power button and the reset button, the USB, all that front I/O stuff is just in a weird spot in a case. Like, it's not in a super weird spot. Like, a lot of cases will use that and do that, but cases that have those are slightly taller, so it makes up for that space that we need for this radiator. Really only designed to do 2 fans on with the radiator on the front like this, the way the case is designed, but I'm trying to achieve 3. It'll look way cooler. Just that cool factor that I'm chasing, that I don't really necessarily need to chase, but I want to. I like to build it nice. If I'm not going to build it nice, then I may as well just not do it. That was easy enough, and you can see there's much more space being used here than there is here, and we just flipped it, so a lot more space gonna fit here now. I just have to argue with cables here for a minute. Settled properly where I need them. That should be much better. And now all 3 of the fans are going to fit. Now it's a matter of just figuring out how to mount the third one, which I think what I'll do is screw it on the back side from here, underneath the radiator. So I'm not going to mount this quite yet. Sorry, we keep flip-flopping, but gotta do it this way. Probably work it. Work. Nice. Now the heads of these screws are too small. They just fit right through the slot, so I either need washers have those. Go. There's one. Drop the second screw. Why not? There we go. Once more into the bridge. We'll get this right. Since we started with the bottom one, we're gonna have to line it all up with from the bottom up now. I don't know why we're fighting with it so much. But we have to. Dude. Okay, now it's easy peasy lemon squeezy from here, right? I think that was the most challenging part of this entire build, is trying to get this radiator to mount the way we wanted it. Okay, there we have it. 3 fans on the front. We did it. Now we're going to run the tubes like so, which is going to run around the graphics card there best we can. And that is kind of how we're going. That way we're keeping the heart the right side up. The pump is not the highest point in the loop. The top of the radiator will be. This is actually the proper way to mount AIO. Know that. But it is. Go. Here we go, here we go. We're not going to be using the cheap thermal paste that comes with this set. We're going to be using Thermal Grizzly. Thermal Grizzly is very good thermal paste to use, especially for water cooling, which is what we're doing today. So it's going to, that's what we're going to be using. Let me just double check the instructions for this mount. I want to make sure we don't have that studs that came with it. And we do. Hey, super, very cool guy. How is your night going? Had to go pick up the baby, but I'm back now. Awesome. My night is going pretty good so far. I've struggled with multiple things tonight on this build. One being the front. I'll show you here after we get this mounted here. But there's 3 fans on the front that I wanted on the front. And we're mounting also a 240mm IO. And in this case, very hard to do that. So we struggled with that a little bit. What else did we struggle with? Can't remember. I think that was it, other than my glove ripping over and over. How is your night going? Super, very cool guy over on Twitter. Or Twitch. Twitter. Did I just say that? I just said that. Ooh, I'm getting old. Jameson, I appreciate the like. That was again 23 minutes ago. I'm sorry, I was very focused on the current situation that we had ourselves in. So, I do apologize if I did not get to you quick enough. Had to go pick up the baby. Well, man, I mean, gotta do what you gotta do. How's everything else going for you, man? How's your night going outside of picking up the baby and whatever cool stuff you're doing? This computer looks aesthetically pleasing. Yes, it is. And my night is great, man. Do you run the Twitter account for Empower Gaming? Yes, I do. So, outside of the generic posts you might see, those are, I don't know, probably not going to last much longer. But yes, I run the Twitter. That is me if you see Twitter. It's great. Grilling some hamburgers right now, just hanging out. Awesome. Actually, that is one thing that was on my list of things to do today. But with everything that was going on, my last appointment was at 5 o'clock. And I didn't get to start this stream until almost 8 p.m. Which was later, a half hour later than what I already told Steve that we were starting it. So I was a little bit late. And grilling burgers somewhere in between there just didn't fit. But I wanted to get the grill out, and I wanted to grill some burgers today. It was a beautiful day, man. Absolutely gorgeous outside. Okay. Yeah, I hit you up a while ago. Play with me and Rapper, Fredo, Bang. We generally play Warzone. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's all coming together now. I remember. But I've been so addicted to Apex recently. Yeah. I mean, honestly, my two games that I've been playing is Warzone and PUBG. Those are really the two main that I've been playing. Haven't really gotten to play much of anything else. I mean, with my busy schedule, it's very tough to do that. I haven't gotten to play much outside of that. And even that, it's light. So, I don't get to play a lot. And when I do, it's like your typical Friday night for a couple hours. That's about it. That's how I socialize right now with everything else that's going on. But that's cool, man. Apex is a pretty good game. I like it. I just struggle with it. It's just a tough one to like get a hold of, especially with all the special abilities and all that. Kind of reminds me a lot of like Fortnite with building, which I know they got, you know, they have a mode now without it, but kind of reminds me of that. And I never really got into Fortnite because of the whole building thing. Can't multitask like that, you know? I can, but it's just not relaxing. It gives me anxiety. Alright, so I'm gonna keep, you know, yeah, let's just keep, yeah, this build, very aesthetically appealing, pleasing, and appealing. It's gonna be super cool looking. I don't know why we don't get to do pink builds like this very often. Well, like I was saying earlier, the last one I did was about a year ago. I don't get to do a lot of pink builds, so when I was told pink, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. But these are the three fans that I was talking about. I was struggling with getting these three to fit with the radiator, because it really isn't designed to do that. But we got it to work. Because I wasn't gonna let this build walk out of here without it. The next thing we're going to do is get the top fans installed, and then the rear fan. We got two more fans, and then a third for the rear. And then we have the RGB stuff to plug in, the fans, all that. Front panel stuff. We got a ton of stuff to plug in after the fact. So, we got a lot going on here. I'm going to go ahead and just stand this baby up because we're going to do the top fans here. Fans that aren't where they're supposed to be. Is it because fans are large, or is the case just not meant for those types of fans? So it's meant for 120 millimeter. These are 120 millimeter, which is a pretty normal standard, or a standard for any case. The problem is positioning the radiator in the case. As an example, this needs to be up more, and you can't get it any higher because of the top IO here has a bunch of cables below it. You can wedge a thin 120 millimeter fan in there and go all the way up, but you can't get a radiator and a fan and then try to take it all the way to where it's supposed to be. So we kind of had to improvise a little bit, but it's okay. We got it done. We did it. Wasn't too bad. there was a little bit of a delay there. And yeah, I never got into Fortnite. I disliked the game. Yeah, I haven't really. But at that time, I played PUBG and signed as a signed pro. Oh, nice. Nice. That's cool. So at the time, either played PUBG or Fortnite. Yes, I do remember those times. It was Fortnite or PUBG. And then the Call of Duty bot that played TDM before Call of Duty had a real VR. Was the other option. And since I played PUBG 8 hours a day, I just didn't want to game anymore after that. With the Fortnite, no build mode kind of looks like fun. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, I might actually give it a try. Screws aren't going to work for me. They might. As long as they don't slide through. If they slide through, I'm going to be upset. They're not going to work. Nope. Well, that kind of stinks. These screws. Yeah, honestly, I never got into the Fortnite either. I played PUBG, and I really liked that VR when it was out. And then I played, after that, Warzone when it came out. And then since then, I've been just kind of flip-flopping from PUBG to Warzone, and kind of just hanging out with the guys. Not doing anything too crazy. I used to stream it a bunch too, PUBG, and just wasn't really my thing, streaming game. So I really focus on the game too much, and then I won't pay attention to people in the chat, and then people just get bored. I wasn't bad at the game. You could be good, you just have, if you're not entertaining, nobody wants to watch you. Unless you're like super good. Then you have a reason to ignore people, I guess. Even then, you shouldn't. Do. What song's playing? I have my headset over here, so. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh man. Looking better and better. there's a point in time which you made a decision to make a computer company over being a content creator, or is this building PC tech always a passion of yours? So I've always built gaming PCs. I've been doing it for probably 15 plus years now, in and out, especially for like friends and friends of friends and so on. It eventually grew to the point where friends of friends of friends of friends of friends were contacting me because they knew a guy. And then eventually I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start a website and see what happens. And then it kind of grew from there slowly, and it's still growing. I mean, I'm not building, you know, a computer every single day, but my niche is mostly super custom, super specific, which is unique because there's not a lot of people out there that do it right and good, super specific and super unique. But if you want something super unique, or just a regular, you know, pre-build, I could do it. Just the super unique ones, that's kind of my niche now. So I do have a lot of pre-build options in my website, which are kind of there for competition, honestly. If anybody can build a computer. But for example, if Steve came to me and says he wanted the pink build, knew what case he wanted, I think it was based off of past conversations. But immediately I'm thinking, okay, these fans, with this case, with this AIO, with these cables, and I'm thinking of these colors and just bringing it to life in my head as we're planning it. Also knowing that AIO was going to be a pain in the butt to install. I've been doing it for a while. It's always been a passion of mine. That's kind of what I enjoy more, is taking a vision of yours and making it a reality. Especially if it's super unique. I love doing that. This is your full-time job, if you don't mind me asking? No, this is not my full-time job. I mean, honestly, I don't make a ton of money building a computer. I'm probably not charging people enough right now, honestly. The margin just... If I were to make this a full-time job, I'd have to be building, like, at least 4 or 5 computers at my current rate, with probably a little bit of a increase in price to do it full-time. So my full-time job, I'm actually a Microsoft Cloud Solutions engineer, where I specifically work with Microsoft products like Microsoft 365, SharePoint Online, Exchange, OneDrive, Azure AD, things around security with those apps or those cloud apps. That's what I do for my full-time job. This does not necessarily pay the bills yet, but it's growing. I mean, each year, if you look back and you see how many builds you've done, last year I did close to 1,000, I think, and the majority of it was towards the end of the year, before Christmas. So there was a huge rush there, which is normal. If you look back every year, it's kind of the same thing. But each year, it's more and more builds. So it is growing, and I'm excited as it grows. I'd like to do, a day. Once I get to that point where I have no choice but to quit my job, sink or swim, that's when I'll do it. But until then, I'm doing it part-time, which is why I build in the evening. How about you, man? Are you a full-time streamer? Got all the case fans installed. It's looking good. Honestly, I don't really want to increase prices if I don't have to. And that probably makes me kind of like a bad business, and because it's not good for the business. Well, that's it. 5. Enter. Water pump is kind of in a weird spot. I don't remember down here. Fine. Good. Weird spot. Hey, how's it going? Hello? Hey, Bester, how you doing, man? Long time? Yeah, I know, man. It's been a long time. Super very cool guy, and no, I've always done it part-time, but I dip off super crazy early. Warzone gained over 100,000 followers on TikTok. Nice. Like 2 months, and over 10,000 on Twitch. But I work in immigration, specifically asylum or foreign countries, when I really started to pop off on Twitch, averaging around 60-80 per stream. Oh, that's pretty cool. Nice. So you're still doing it part-time, it sounds like, or? My job got extremely demanding, making working like 80 hours a week, so I took like 6 months break, still getting back into it. Yeah, totally, I get it. It's been pretty demanding lately for us too. People will not mind paying a little more with your customer service. World people want good customer service. Well, thanks, man. Steve, I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, I just, I don't know. I'm not a business guy. I'm not good at business. So you can take advantage of me next time, Steve. Whoever else is watching. But, I don't know, I know what things cost, and it's like, if I ask for more money, I don't know, it just makes me feel guilty. So, definitely not a business guy. Alright, so let's locate CPU. PWM daisy chain cable thing, which we are going to, strangely enough, run off the side here. A weird spot. Starting to notice more and more boards are doing that. Again, it's kind of weird, but okay. Glad we have the length on this cable to do it. And get that zip tied up so it's funky looking. And then we need an RGB connection up here. It's going to be an RGB splitter. We actually need one more hub splitter. I think I have one behind me. Two. Trying to get this cable in here, fighting it. Oh, I'll remember that for the next build. Yeah. Easy negotiator. Yeah, I'm just trying to let the business do the work. Pays for, you know, it pays itself for itself, so it doesn't cost me anything other than my time right now. And you know, I'm not technically I'm not really pulling a huge pay, if anything, paycheck from the business. So it's just kind of growing at this point, and it's grown. I mean, if you look back at the numbers from the year I started it to now, each year there is a huge progression. So it's growing, and especially last year it was a big jump. It's just going to take time to grow to the point where it's sustainable. I've actually had offers to buy the business because it isn't. Find it. But I've had offers. I thought was it. Who the hell wants to buy my company? Right now we're just plugging in the front panel stuff like the USB front panel audio, power button, all of that. We're getting all of that plugged in here. Then we'll be able to move on. Graphics card, power supply, and all plugged in. All of that fun stuff coming up here soon. Pretty soon. So we're getting close. We're definitely close. was actually thinking to go quicker, but we ran into that bit of a snag on the AIO, pushing 10 o'clock. We're about 2 hours in. 1 hour, 41 minutes. Hey, get back here. Bug off. Alright. So we need one more addressable RGB splitter. Guys. Two. The only problem with this Steel Legend is you can't read anything on the board. Oh yeah, I want to grab some dinner, but do you have a favorite build you've ever done? Probably the one I did last night, or Weird Duck. Weird Duck 28, I think is his name, out on Twitter. But I just did his build. It was all blue. That thing turned out amazing. But I also did one for church last night, and his build turned out pretty amazing. So those two are probably my favorites. But Weird Duck probably more so because it was a little bit more sentimental. What I'm looking for, verifying, is which header is for the pump. Not really specified anywhere. Sucks. Nothing specified as a pump. I think it's just going to select. We'll have to change it in the BIOS. Find out. We have to move it, we'll move it. Not that big of a deal. And an RGB splitter. That wasn't supposed to be in there. Okay, then. All right, so let's get the graphics card in there, and then we're gonna work on getting the cables. Then we do the power supply, and we get everything plugged in on the back. Then we fire it up. That's it. That's all there is to it. And there's windows, drivers. Hey, Steven, I appreciate the like. Thanks, man. But then we have drivers, we have windows, we have battle tested phase, and all sorts of other fun stuff. So, tons of great fun stuff coming our way. Alright, so this is the RTX 3060 that we went with for Zotac. We wanted white. Continue the theme. Very hard to find a white card within the budget that we had that matched the theme. Very hard, actually. Anything white or specific unique color outside of black has a premium price tag on it. Try to shop around. If it doesn't have a premium price tag, it's not available. Prices are coming down though. Things are becoming more and more available, but finding a white RTX 3060, that was a challenge, not gonna lie. Almost had to go with an EVGA card, which would have been okay. Just wouldn't have been perfect. I like perfect. Oh yeah, look at that. You also overclock and do tunings, is that what it's called? Overclocking, it depends on what game it is. So if you're asking me to overclock for Warzone, I'm going to straight up tell you don't do it. You're going to actually have more instability if you overclock than you would with just regular stock settings. Now, tuning for Call of Duty, Warzone, yes, we could do that. There's things you could do on the system to get a little bit more FPS out of the system or out of the PC without overclocking. Other games you can definitely overclock and probably increase your FPS a little bit, but it's not going to be like super crazy performance gains like everybody thinks there is. There isn't always. It depends on the hardware, depends on what motherboard you have, what power supply you have, sometimes even what cables you have plugged in, or what cables you're using on your power supply. If you have deep extensions, it won't deliver the power that it needs. Yeah, there's a lot of variables when it comes to overclocking, so it's very specific each computer. In fact, you can have two of the same exact computers with the same exact components, and you could have two different results on your overclocks from both of them. That's how finicky overclocking is, or can be. Not perfect. That's why it's not a very common thing. It's not common knowledge, because it takes a little bit of a talent to do it, and patience. Oh, these cables are making it pop. I think we picked the right cables. I mean, the pink's a little teeny tiny bit off, but I think when it's lit up, you're not going to really notice too much. How exciting. Uh-huh. Come on now. How are you staring at it? Still looks good. It looks great. I know, these cables are awesome. Like I said, I think we did a really good job picking these cables out. Making it pop. Sorry, I know my head's there. Trying to cram these down here so I can get these somewhere. Oh yeah, I mean, that looks pretty damn cool. I have to steal one CPU cable from the power supply because there's two options on this board and I want both filled. So if you ever do decide to overclock the 11900K, you have both power cables plugged in, which allows better overclocking. I'm going to have that plugged in. Sorry, doesn't match the cables. Not include. Okay, I'll blend it. Make it work. Don't even know. Can't even tell. All right. Let's get the power supply in here and then start getting it all plugged in back here. Starting to look a little crazy. No, don't worry. Don't have as much anxiety as I do right now. Okay. Courage, my friends. That's what it takes to finish this. Alright, we're just sliding the power supply in right now, so that it's ready to be screwed in. Now that we have all of our cables plugged into it. Steve, unfortunately have to go. Go to sleep. 4 a.m. comes quick, I totally understand. Wish I could finish watching the build tomorrow. Or will finish watching the build tomorrow. My daughter is going to love this wedding gift. Thank you for building it. Steve, it was, again, an absolute honor building it for your daughter's wedding gift. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to build it, because Like I said before, I don't get to do very many pig builds, and I think it's turning out pretty damn awesome. So I hope she enjoys it, and yeah, I'll make sure, just make sure you follow up on the link, and you can finish watching it whenever. So take care, have a good night, Steve. I appreciate you. I know it's getting late. I'm sorry I started it late. This is probably the more boring part until it's actually running anyway, so I don't blame you. A little less speed on the pace. Not a lot to talk about other than this cable goes here. What? No, man. Okay. Steve sees this big ball of wires here, and I know he's going to watch it tomorrow, which is why I'm saying big thing of wires, and he gets anxiety, and he, nope. Again, I don't blame him. I would do the same. Ortiz. And to plug in, which is VGA, to our VGA extension. Okay, EVGA calls them VGA. Looks like EVGA. When you're trying to identify the cables, they label them as VGA, which is fine because it's for VGA. Yeah, I get it. But it looks a lot like VGA. Blind and old like me. You're like, wait, what? Not that bad. Alright. And then the big boy, 24 pin right here. Yeah, big boy. Nope. We're going to tuck extras in here as well. Try to get him. I'd like to get him more. This. Really nothing to grab a hold of. Kind of sucks. I can just big tie here. Big one here. Watch and learn, gentlemen. Ladies. Here. Now for the final chunk of fans over here on the front. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fans. We have a RGB situation going on here. Got it. Don't normally daisy chain this much off of it, but you really don't have a choice unless it's a hub. And a hub would be an option. Okay. Almost there. See the light. Pink. We're honestly gonna finish tying this bad boy up. After I'm done. It's all plugged in. Honest. Better than where we were at. Everything. Oh. So. Yeah. If we want the full effect, we gotta get everything. Gotta get this panel on here. Don't want to get these wires pinched in the panel or snagged by a fan. Don't worry, that's not how it's going to be finalized. Just want to get this fired up for you guys so you can bounce and send you on your way. Nope. Who's ready to see this thing fire off? Y'all ready? Do it. Hold it. We're just going. Kind of excited. I want it to be pink. I know it's not technically going to be just pink. It's going to be probably rainbow. Which should be okay. Woo! Rainbow already. I mean, not even on and it's glowing. We bounced the camera a little bit, sorry. A little bit of a bounce. All right, here we go. Here we go. That is actually pretty damn sick looking. Like, the camera is a little bit blurry because it's having a hard time adjusting to the light adjustments there, but it is pretty badass. And I just want to show you the front. Even more badass. Oh yeah, that was well worth the trouble with the AIO. Getting this RGB here, the fans, the push-pull. I have gloves on, I can't really feel anything. But oh yeah, it's moving air. I could feel it right here. My hand right here in the middle. I could feel the airflow here. This is without a glass panel on. That's good airflow. No fans running on the GPU right now. I could feel airflow here too, which is good. Really good airflow from the bottom underneath it. Good that we put that fan down there. That's some good airflow. Nice. I'm happy with that. Going to look amazing either way, haha. It looks just from the vibrant colors. Yeah. Oh yeah, they wanted pink. We got pink. It's a mixture of white, pink, and black. But overall, I mean, the thing is pretty badass looking. Not gonna lie, I don't mind the color pink. It's unique. Not very many people have a pink PC like this. I mean, this is one of a kind. And there's more that we could have done too. I was trying to fit a custom backplate by V1 Tech, the top of the graphics card, a backplate for it, which would have been really cool because we could have done the same style pink kind of shading throughout the build. That really would have made it pop. With a heart on it, maybe, just like the AIO. But we're at a post right now, so that means the CPU, RAM, motherboard, and graphics card all posted. So we are good to roll into Windows. Yeah, it looks pretty sick. I love it. I'm happy with it. I just gotta tidy up the cables in the back and then get Windows going. And yeah, there's another successful build. So, ladies and gentlemen, super very cool guy. I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. I am probably gonna end the stream here. I have not eaten dinner yet. I did want to pull out the grill like I mentioned earlier. Didn't get to that. My wife thankfully takes care of me and makes sure I will eat, and made tacos. So it is Taco Tuesday. So I've got tacos to look forward to, which is totally calling my name like 3 hours ago. So I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna leave this up for a little bit. If Steve, I know Steve took off. This is for Steve, is Brianna's wedding gift. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys here. I'll leave it up for a little bit. If you guys want to check it out, go for it. Yeah, it was a blast, brother. I'll catch you later, man. Yeah, let me know if you want to play some COD or PUBG. PUBG's still swinging. All right, cool, man. Catch you around. Have a good night.